Namaskar and welcome to the 55th day of our Ramayana Satsanga. Lakshmeenatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyutapadam Bhujayugma Rugma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Gurur Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेत सादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना. With prayers at the lotus feet of Acharyas and Sri Rama, let us go to our topic for today. So we saw in yesterday's satsang how after the Agni Pravesha, Agni Devata brought Sita back and handed her over to Rama, and Rama happily accepted her and revealed that it was all a Leela which he had created so that people should not point fingers at Sita. Now, next, what happens? All the devatas have come there. So, Shiva, he makes Dasharatha, Rama's father, to appear at that point of time. Now, Rama is very happy to see him, and Dasharatha says that I am proud of you. I am proud at the way you have conducted yourself. You have brought glory to our Vamsha with all your, fighting against these Rakshasas. Tell me what you want. I will give you any boon. I want to bless you with some boon. So, at that point of time, Rama says, he begs his father that at the time of your death, you were very angry with Kaikeyi and you said you are abandoning, you are giving up any connection with Kaikeyi and Bharata. You said Kaikeyi is not my wife, Bharata is not my son. Please don't have that ill will against them in your mind. Please accept them. Take away that feeling of hostility towards them. And Dasharatha happily accepts that. Now, next, Indra, who is there, has come there. He also wants to give some boon to Rama. So Rama tells him that if you want to give me something, then all these Vanaras who have been killed in this fight against the Rakshasas, please revive all of them. If you remember, we had said that Rama had told that the Vanaras, corpses should be kept in one place. Now, all those dead bodies are there. Rama is asking Indra that please revive all of them, bring them back to life. So that is what Indra did. All those Vanaras came back to life and they were hale and healthy again. However, Rama then tells Vibhishana that we can ask Indra to do the same for the Rakshasas also. But unfortunately, nothing could be done because the Rakshasas' bodies had been disposed of by Ravana. As soon as the Rakshasas were killed, their bodies had been thrown into the ocean. So there was nothing available to revive those Rakshasas. Now, after all this has happened, Rama is in a great hurry. He wants to return to Ayodhya because Bharata has told a particular date, the day that 14th year is getting over. If Rama is not there, Bharata has said that he will give up his life by jumping into the fire. So, although Vibhishana is requesting Rama that please stay here for some time, Rama says, no, I have to go back immediately. And then Vibhishana offers the Pushpaka Vimana. And that Vimana is such a beautiful creation that it can hold any number of people. So all the people who are there, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, of course, then Vibhishana goes along with them. And some of the good Rakshasas who are with him, they also go. Sugriva, Angada, Jambavanta, Hanuman, and all the Vanaras, everybody wants to go. They all want to be part of the celebration of Rama reaching back to Ayodhya. So all of them together, they go. Now, as they are passing by the different spots, Rama points out all those particular places. He says, this is where I killed Ravana. This is where we built the bridge. This is where Vibhishana came and did Sharanagati. Like that, he points out all those things. And he says to Sita, please see, take a look at these places. Uh, Throw your glance on these places. And as they are going further and they're flying close to Kishkinda, then when Rama says that this is the place where the Vanaras live, then Sita says that please let those Vanaras' wives also come along with us because they are alone here in Kishkinda. Let us take them also back with us to Ayodhya. So then there is a brief stop that the Pushpak Vimana makes, and Sugriva tells all those Vanara women also to come, and that Vimana miraculously accommodates all of them, and they all go back. Now, when they go back, they pass by the ashrama of Bharadwaj Rishi, and they go there to pay their respects. Then the Rishi says that you have to stay here tonight. You have to accept my hospitality. Now Rama cannot refuse the Rishi, but he knows that Bharata is waiting there and Bharata is going to jump into the fire. So what Rama does is he tells Hanuman, he says that you please go to Bharata. Before they going there, you go meet Guha, take Guha with you, and both of you go to Bharata and give him the news that we are all returning. And Hanuman takes this what you say this message from Rama, and he goes and he reaches this place called Nandigrama where Bharata has installed the padukas of Rama. And just as Bharata is about to jump into the fire, Hanuman reaches there. Now again a similar situation for him. When he had gone to the Ashokvana and Sita was about to give up her life, he saved her by narrating the Ramayana. Similarly here, when Bharata is about to jump into the fire, Hanuman reaches there. He narrates the Ramayana, and listening to that, Bharata is stunned. And then Hanuman tells him that Rama is on the way, they are coming back, they have stopped briefly at the Rishi's ashrama. And hearing that good news, Bharata faints in joy. He's so happy that he faints. And now Hanuman realizes that why Rama had sent him, that he was worried that suppose suddenly Rama had only appeared in front of Bharata, he would have probably, like he would have had such a great shock. So just to give him in grades that news. So now Hanuman has come with the good news, and then Rama himself will appear. And according to the instructions of Bharata, now the entire Nandigrama is decorated, whole of Ayodhya is decorated. All the mothers, the three queens of Dasharatha from Ayodhya, they come to Nandigram. Shatrughna comes, everybody comes there, and everyone is ready and waiting to receive Rama. So we'll stop the story part here for today, and tomorrow we will see about no, okay, there is more. We are talking today about the Pushpak Vimana coming also. So everything is ready, everybody is ready to meet. And then the Pushpak Vimana lands, and everybody is in great joy, and everyone is so happy. Rama comes, Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, they get down from the Pushpak Vimana, they come, they embrace their brothers, Bharata and Shatrughna come there, they embrace them, then they fall at the feet of all the mothers. Everybody is very happy at this reunion. All the people who have accumulated there, they do Jai Jaikara of Rama. And finally, Bharata, he comes with Rama's padukas and he gives them back to him. Paduke te tu Ramasya grihitva Bharata swayam charanabhyam Narendrasya yojayamasa dharmavit. Taking those wooden sandals, those paduka of Rama, Bharata brings those and he places them below the feet of Rama. All these days, Bharata has ruled in the name of those padukas, and today, finally, Rama has come back. Bharata is very happy to give Rama's padukas back to him because now Rama is going to be the king. So, once this happens, then Bharata speaks to Rama. Abravicha tada Ramam Bharatassa kritanjalihi etatte rakshitam rajan ajyam niryatitam maya. Rajan Ajyan Niryatitam Maya. So what Bharata says, he does Anjali, he folds his palms and he offers salutations to Rama and he says, this Rajya of yours, which I had kept with me as a deposit, today I am returning it back to you. It is being returned to you by me. So you please rule over this kingdom and you are the rightful king of this place. And then once everybody has come and all this is happening, then Rama commands the Pushpak Vimana to go back to Kubera. The Pushpak Vimana was actually belonging to Kubera and Ravana had forcibly taken it from him. So now Rama commands that Vimana to go back to Kubera. All the brothers, they finally have the ritualistic bath. They had all grown those jatamudi, so all that is shaved off. They are all neatly attired now. They don all the royal robes. All alankara is done for them. And finally, they then go to Ayodhya. From Nandigrama, all of them go to Ayodhya. And in Ayodhya, it has been decided that they will do Pattabhisheka for Rama. That Pattabhisheka, which would have happened 14 years before, is now going to happen. And in our satsang, it is going to happen tomorrow. So let us pause the story for here and let us try to understand some more significant aspects which the Acharyas explain. Now you remember I said that Rama told Sita that please take a look at all these places in Lanka, glance at them. Why is he saying? So Sita says that, what is it? I already know these places in Lanka. I have already seen these places in Lanka. I know Lanka before you do. Then why are you asking me to look at it again? So Rama tells her that, see, what I'm telling you is, before when you looked at Lanka, you looked at it with sorrow in your mind. You looked at this Lanka with fear in your mind. You looked on it with anger in your mind because it was being ruled by Ravana. But now our child Vibhishana is going to be the ruler of this place. So I want you to look at it with your Divya Kataksha. Look at this Lanka with love, with affection, and with the wish that they should do well. And the Acharyas say there that until then it was only called Lanka, but now as we know it, that place is called Sri Lanka. Why is it called Sri Lanka? Because it got the Divya Kataksha of Sri, of Devi herself. So that is the significance of that Rama telling her to look at Lanka. Then he shows her the setu that they built, right? And he says, Setu Bandha iti khyatam, Trailokyena cha pujitam, Etat pavitram paramam, Mahapataka nashanam. This Setu Bandha, this is a place which is going to be adored in all the three worlds. It is a very pavitra spot, it's a sacred spot, and it is capable of washing away any kind of pataka, any kind of papa which people have done, it will be washing it away. So even today, till today, we have people who visit this Ramasetu, which is at the southern tip of our country, the place near Rameshwaram from where this Setu has been built. So everybody goes there, and it is considered that bathing at that Setu point is capable of washing away the great sins. Just like it is said that bathing in the Ganga is supposed to give Pavana Charitra to everybody, it is supposed to purify people. Similarly, bathing in the sea, in the ocean, at this point where the Setu is there, is also considered to take away our sins and make us purified. So, if ever we get an opportunity in our life, we must visit that place and have a holy dip there. Okay. Then we saw that Sita is telling that let us take these Vanara women, right? So there is one interesting anecdote which is narrated in the Kamba Ramayana, I think. It is not there in Valmiki Ramayana, but probably in the Kamba Ramayana. So what happens is, all these Vanara women, when they are told that you get ready and come in the Pushpak Vimana, we have to go to Ayodhya, they all get ready and they come quickly. And all of them are very curious because they also want to see the Sita. They think that what is this? Who is this woman? How beautiful she must be. For her sake, all Rama, Lakshmana, and everybody, and our all men have also been taken to fight and rescue her. So, how she must be very beautiful. Let us take a look at her. They are curious. But surprisingly, when they look at Sita, okay, now these Vanara women, they start observing her. And one lady says, one Vanara woman says, oh, what is this? She has such tiny eyes. Among the Vanaras, it is considered a sign of beauty if you have a very big eye, if you have big eyes. Okay, they say her eyes are so small because compared to the eyes of these people, her eyes are different. So, they say, what is this? Her eyes are not so beautiful after all. Then somebody else says, okay, forget the eyes, but look at her waist. There's no waist only. Now, Vanara women are prided on the stoutness of their waist. And here, this Sita has no waist only, they say like that. And then, thirdly, the third woman says that you forget all those things, forget her eyes, forget her waist, but just see, she doesn't even have a tail. And these people are saying that she is beautiful because in the Vanara women, the one who has a beautiful tail is considered very beautiful. So, like this, what it shows us is that what somebody assesses about a person's beauty is very individualistic, isn't it? Like we say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. The Vanara women were judging the beauty of Sita by their Vanara standards. And therefore, they found that Sita is not at all beautiful. Why did all these people run for her sake? They thought like that. So, also in our life, many times, if we are genuinely good at doing something and all that, we are genuinely having some qualities, there may be some people who never recognize those qualities in us, and that could be because they don't know what to appreciate. Their standards are different. If their standards don't match ours, then they will definitely not be able to appreciate us. So we should understand, if there was somebody like the Vanara women who couldn't see the beauty of Sita, then it just shows that all everywhere in the world people are different. Like they say, loko bhinna ruchi, there are different people, everybody has different tastes. So we should not expect that everybody should be able to appreciate some quality that we have, although to us it may seem very important, isn't it? Okay. Now, what happens is when they come there and Rama sends Hanuman to tell Bharata that they are on the way back. At that time, Rama is advising Hanuman that when you are giving him this news, you just observe Bharata. before you tell him that I'm on the way, you please observe Bharata's behavior and you assess whether he is happy to rule the kingdom by himself. Is he happy being the king there? Or is he going to be happy to give it to me? You observe that and accordingly you decide whether to tell him the news or not. If you feel that Bharata is happy to be the king himself, then you need not tell him that I'm on the way back. I will be happy to let him only be the king. But suppose you think that he is in pain and he's just waiting for me to come back, then you tell him that I'm on the way. Now, why is it that Rama tells this to Hanuman? The acharyas explain here. First thing is that one is it is because of the Rajniti, because of the Rajadharma, the protocol. It says that if there is one king who has given his kingdom to somebody else to rule and he comes back to take control of it, then he should assess whether that king is happy to give back the control. And accordingly, he should decide whether to take control back. So, according to that Rajadharma, Rama is doing this. Secondly, why he has sent Hanuman? Because he knows that if suddenly he himself lands up there, if Rama himself lands up there, Bharata is going to probably have a very great shock with that joy. And therefore, he doesn't want to shock Bharata like that. We saw when Hanuman came only, Bharata fainted and fell down. So imagine if Rama himself had suddenly appeared, then Bharata wouldn't be able to handle that only. So to give that happiness in small doses, in small installments, therefore Rama has sent Hanuman. And then the third thing Acharya says, actually in Rama's mind, he wishes that Bharata would only rule. Rama is not very fond of power. He is not wanting to be the ruler, wanting to be the Raja and all that. So inside his mind, he has this wish that let Bharata only rule. So that is why he is sending Hanuman with all these things to tell Bharata. Now, Hanuman says after he goes and he sees Bharata and he sees the love and affection of these brothers, then Hanuman thinks that, okay, Rama sent me to give his message, that is one part. But I think Rama wanted to teach me a lesson about the different types of brothers who exist in this world. He wanted me to learn that brothers like this who are so affectionate also exist in this world. Because all along, I have only known brothers like Sugriva and Vali who were fighting with each other. I have known brothers like Vibhishana and Ravana, where the two would not get along together at all. But this is the first time that I am seeing a brother who is totally in keeping, who is totally compatible to the mindset of Rama. I have seen Rama and Lakshmana, but now I know there are brothers like Bharata and Shatrughna also. And for me to learn that brothers can be like this also, to understand this ideal state of brotherhood, that is why Rama has sent me. Like that, Hanuman thinks. Okay. And finally, I have one small story which does not appear in any of the Ramayanas, but one of the Alvars, Tirumangai Alvar, has sung about this in his Divya Prabandham. So, what he says is that in his version, when Rama was at Bharadwaj Rishi Ashrama, he has sent Hanuman to go with the news to Bharata. Then he has told Hanuman, you go convey the news and you come back. So Hanuman comes back. That is what is sung by the Alvar. When Hanuman comes back, now all these people have sat to have their lunch in the Bharadwaj Rishi Ashrama. At that time, there is no place for Hanuman because all the seats have been occupied. Everybody has sat down and they are starting to serve the food. So some people who are serving the food, they tell Hanuman that you please wait and you can eat in the next batch. But Rama cannot bear his bhakta being segregated like that. So it is said what Rama did is he called Hanuman. He said, come, you sit opposite to me. You sit in front of my leaf. And then on that leaf, Rama used his nail to draw a partition on that leaf. And once he drew that partition, he told Hanuman that I will tell them to serve food on that side for you, and whatever is on this side of the partition, I will eat that. And like that, Rama did Sahabhojana with his devotee. He ate in the same leaf along with his Bhakta Hanuman. Acharyas say very happily that this Rama, in the previous avatara as Narsimha, he used his nails to destroy Hiranyakashipu and to bless Prahlada. Now, in this Ramavatara, he has used his nail to make a partition on that banana leaf and to eat along with his Bhakta Hanuman. And it is told that until then these banana leaves did not have any division. That middle, we see that vein which is there in the middle of the leaf, that was not previously there. But after this incident, they say that that partition came about because Rama made the partition so that Hanuman could eat along with him. How great is the kripa of this Lord! How loving is the kripa of this Lord! And how blessed are we that we get to hear all these things from the compositions of the Alvars, from the commentaries of our Acharyas. So let us offer gratitude and let us prepare ourselves mentally that tomorrow we are going to be blessed and fortunate enough to witness the true Pattabhisheka of Rama in Ayodhya. So until then, let us offer our gratitude and let us pray for the blessings of Acharyas of Rama and Sita to always be on us. Mangalam Kosalendraya Mahaniya Gunabdhaye Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Veda Vedanta Vedyaya Megha Shamalamurtaye Pumsam Mohana Rupaya Punyashlokaya Mangalam Pitrabhaktaya Satatam Bhratrabhihi Sasitaya Nanditakhila Lokaya Ramabhadraya Mangalam Srimate Raghuviraya Setu Langita Sindhave जितराक्षसराजाय रणधीराय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम्. Thank you everybody. We'll meet again tomorrow and see the Rama Pattabhishek. Namaskar.